Hi everyone! Welcome back to the studio for this week's episode of Tutorial Tuesday. I'm so excited to have you here with me in the studio. I thought we would do a really fun black canvas painting. I have in mind this really cool humpback whale just floating right beneath the surface. So we're going to do some really simple colors onto the canvas, and we're going to add basically just white to it to make this whole scene pop. So if you'd like to paint along with me, be sure to check the description below for the paint list, and let's jump right into it. On my canvas here, I've got my standard 18 by 24 inch canvas, and it's been prepped with a thin, even coat of liquid clear, and it's ready to go. Let's start off by building some color. On this canvas, we're going to use a combination of Prussian blue, phthalo green, and alizarin crimson. So we're going to pull those colors out so that we can tap into them with our 1-inch brush. We're just going to start getting some color up onto the canvas. And this is going to be kind of tricky because you're not really going to see any of this blue as we apply it onto the canvas. So bear with me while we work through this beginning stage. We basically need to get the entire canvas covered with these translucent colors, and then we're going to cover it and pick up some of these translucent colors with white, and it's going to be so fun. This is one of those trick paintings that you can prep behind the scenes and bring out for your friends and paint. It's always really fun, and it's quite a surprise because you can put on all kinds of different colors and translucent colors and just bring out your black canvas basically and start painting with white, and people just, their minds will be blown. It's super fun. But the most important thing when we're painting a black canvas, especially if we're doing a really dark scene, is that we do want to have color on it. It is going to still show, even though it doesn't look like it when it's all shiny like this. Those hues will pull through, and they're really important for the scene and to have the harmony of a scene. So I'm just mixing in now a tiny bit of phthalo green. I've been working primarily with the Prussian blue. Now I've dipped into some phthalo green. I don't even know what this is going to look like. It'll be an adventure for both of us. So phthalo green and Prussian blue. If you ever wanted to practice layering of paints, black canvas is a really good way to do it because it teaches you to feel the consistency of the paint as opposed to look at what it looks like. So now I can actually go around on my canvas and I can feel where it needs paint. And that takes a little bit of practice, but it's definitely worth it. And the black canvases really make you think. They're so fun. I really hope that you give this one a try and let me know how you liked it, or send me a picture to my email address, Kaylee@KayleeRakowski.com. There it is. Maybe it'll pop up on the screen below if we're lucky. I hope you all have noticed some of the changes that we've been doing on the channel by getting some of our zoom shots happening. On the last video, we had a little waterfall scene, and we have some really nice zoom shots on that so that you can see the close-ups of layering the paint for the waterfall. And it's really fun. I'm so excited to finally have somebody in the studio with me, helping me out, and we can really get these fun and high-quality videos to you. So I hope that you have noticed, and I want to say thank you one more time to Bo, because Bo, we wouldn't have been able to have these zoom shots if it wasn't for your donation. That was amazing, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. Now I got most of this canvas covered. think we're missing just a little bit in the center here, and I'm going to take some crimson and just work in a little bit of these crimson hues in just a couple areas, just to kind of warm up this background. Again, you still can't see it, I know, but it'll all come through in the end. Here we go. Get just a nice gray happening. Now I'm going to take my big blending brush and I'm just going to make sure that the consistency throughout the canvas is even. And I'm going to start in the center here. I know that I've got some Prussian blue up top and a combo down below, so I'm just going to soften those two together. I can feel the paint on the canvas. It's a little light in a couple areas. Oh man, I'm excited. I want to see what we're working with here. Hopefully we got some fun colors today. All right, now let's measure. We're gonna have the whale coming down from the center. Get a little bit of white on my brush here. And ooh, the first hint of color. Now we double check that these are the same. There we go. Now, let's just connect this across. Ooh, straight across, Kaylee. So straight. Not bad, actually. Something like that. And then we're going to come up into the center. Got the top of the water spinning around. And let's see if we can get some idea here of our whale. We're going to have him come down. Something like that. So we'll have a center line coming down this one here. Right. Let's try a few more bits here. So that's roughly what our whale is going to look like here. We've got a curve there. All right. Let's build a little bit mystery, get some of these colors. I'm just using my sable brush now and a touch of titanium white, and we're just going to build this feeling out here of these water waves kind of dancing. Let's pick up the blending brush and just soften a little bit of that. Now I want to pick up my fan brush here and we'll just dance in a little bit of light right behind the whale, just a tiny bit of some movement in the water, a tiny bit of color and light. Just kind of swirl it through there. The fan brush works really well for blending some of this out too. Now let's soften that. And this is where some of those colors will come out on the scene as we just soften some of this white in. Soften all of that out. Nice and soft. Let's keep building this scene. I'm going to mix up a little bit of a gray color here. Just a light gray. We'll use the phthalo green and alizarin crimson. Looks like there's a little Prussian blue in there. That's okay. Let's just mix up this nice little gray mixture. And we're going to swirl around. We're going to have some foams up here. Now on top of that, a little bit of a lighter color. You just use the same color on the brush, go into the titanium white, and pick up a touch of bright red. Reload. We'll get just a touch more. Right on the top. And we'll let it sit for a few minutes and then we can soften that back a touch. Maybe the moon is out and the sun has set just a little bit ago. see if we can work a little more on this whale here. Now, we basically want to try and paint all of the light spots, but we still will come back and we can help out some of those light spots by wiping in some darks if we need to. We're working on some of our grays now. And we just have a little bit of white on the brush. Now let's get a little more of our gray, slightly darker, even darker. Fun. All right, let's try this little. Let's pick up a small, I guess this one's probably about the same size. I have just a clean sable brush. And I'm just going to soften some of this back. Now, I'm going to take a clean, dry fan brush, and I'm going to see if I can scrub out just a tiny bit here. And it's just picking up a tiny bit of paint. It's not a lot. We're just picking up a tiny bit. Then we will use our blending brush one more time, and we want to soften all of these edges. A little bit of some round. Okay. Now let's see if we can do a little bit more on the highlights. Pick out just a little bit of titanium white and bright red. We always want to make sure that we're not working with just pure white, although some of the stages we do still kind of do that. But right now we're going to come through and pull on some feature points of some highlights. never painted a humpback whale before. It's pretty hard. Kind of fun though. Just soften these back a tiny bit. Just trying to get some of these basics out. We're still using some of that titanium white with our alizarin crimson and phthalo green, but a little bit more to the bright red side. So we just have all of the colors working together. We'll just give this a little bit of body here. Coming together. I want to get this fin to be there a little bit longer. Now I'm going to pick up my blending sable brush again. Let me just soften out some of these edges. All right, I'm going to pick up a small sable brush and go into some nice dark gray, a little bit to the blue side. We have alizarin crimson and phthalo green, just all the same colors as before. And we're going to put in a few dark spots here. if you're able to leave these dark from behind, sometimes that works better, but it can be kind of challenging. So I just like to work these colors in, and if you get the white behind, now it'll kind of pop against the black canvas. So it does help to get some of these details on with just our white. We've got those little, they have such texture on their fins on the end. So I'm just taking my dark and pushing some little textures. Maybe they have some barnacles. You can use the sable brush and some titanium white on it to give that some detail. Just very simple with the thick titanium white on the brush. It will just grab right onto all that paint that we just put on, and it creates that cool little outline there. Isn't that simple? This is really thick paint on my script liner right now. And I'm just giving it a little bit of texture. Let's do the other side. Right on the outside. A little bit of movement. We want to make it loose. Oh yeah. I had a feeling this was going to be a fun painting, but I didn't practice this first, so this is my first actual time painting this humpback whale. So, you know, it's my first time and it might be different than the second time, but this is how I like to learn. It's just by doing it. So I hope you like it. Now we'll do just a few little more details here. I'm gonna just thin this down just a tiny bit now so that I can really get this to stick. Just a little extra. And I'll do the same on this other side. Give it just a tiny pop where the light might be hitting. Now we'll do, let's pick up the dark brush, and we're going to work in a few more darks. sable brush. All right, some dark again. Get a little bit of some details. Got a little bit of dark crimson on there. That's okay though. Now let's see if we can get this to pop now. I think actually maybe I'll use my fan brush and see how this does. This could backfire on me, but we'll see. I'm gonna make just a nice little gray mixture. And then we'll see if we can get some texture here. A little bit darker. Just going to get a little bit of that gray. I kind of like it nice and soft like this. Try and get some. Couple more of these little grooves in the body. soften the edges. Nice. Let's do some softening on this water and get this foam going. Now that it's been sitting for a while, we can just give some of that a nice little scrub and soften it back. Okay, let's work on this tail a little bit here. We'll do this back side first and then we'll come back over and do the front. I'm just going to use my script liner and I'm going to get a medium texture blue and we'll use this there. And we soften it back. And we'll do the other side. Kind of comes off of this one here. And we'll pull back that paint. Then we'll have our tail that comes down this way. And the secondary highlight a little softer on the other side. Then we can just put in a tiny bit of a dark back where it needs to be here, and we can soften those together. A little bit more here. And we'll just work on a tiny bit more dark. Now, let's pick out titanium white, bright red. That's a little too bright. Let's tone that down just a touch. And now we're going to come back and do just a couple more real nice highlights with our pink. A little bit of softening. A little bit of dark. Oh, I got a lot of brushes going. We're just going back and forth with these colors here, trying to get this shape happening. Oh, softening. Blending brush. I'm mixing up between all of my brushes. I don't know which one is which now. I'm just going to tap this, kind of give it some of the texture that the whale's going to have. Just in a few areas. Yeah, like that. Now, a little dark. We'll do just a tiny bit of those fun textures that we did here to the tail. The fin, I should call it. The tail fin, same thing. Script liner, thin down, light blue-gray. Look at those little barnacles and textures on that tail. Now, a little bit more watery action on the top. We'll take the fan brush. Just to wiggle some of that out. And behind, we're going to get a little bit of movement again. Oh, nice. I really wanted this to be pretty simple. I don't want to go into too much more detail with this whale. I kind of like it just the way it is. Let's see about a little bit of water just kind of coming in right on top of this whale tail, just to kind of tidy up almost a little bit of that. Now you can see all of that wonderful underwater movement. We see the water line and our water above it. Yeah, simple, and I like it. Let's do a touch with the fan brush, and we want to get some white with some red, just a little bit more of a highlight color. Since we've been using a lot of shadow color, let's just pop a bit of really nice bright white along this. Nice little sparkles. Just my nice little dirty blending brush here. Maybe just a little bit more mystery. Just soften that back. Cute. I think I'm going to sign this. Yeah. Oh, what a nice dark scene. Just a lot of really different stuff here. Right at the water. Maybe we need to have a few little bubbles. You can just do the little half circles and you can make some pretty good looking bubbles here. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead here. This is one of those paintings that you can just keep going with the white, and then you'll totally just ruin it all. And sometimes you just have to stop. I would love to paint another whale again. This was so much fun. Definitely have a lot of ideas for the next one. But this one, I think it's going to go sit on my wall for a little while so I can stare at it. And right down here, pop my little signature. It's really easy to see it on this. There's nothing down here. All right, I'm all done with my little humpback whale scene. I hope you enjoyed this painting. I had a lot of fun working on this one, and I just really wanted to keep something like very simple and have kind of that big, bold, contrasting colors of this really dark to the really light bit. So I really hope you enjoyed it. It's kind of like an imaginary moonlit scene with this whale. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this painting. My name's Kaylee. I paint wet on wet landscape oil paintings, and you are here for episode 71 of Tutorial Tuesday. Thank you all so much for being here. Smile and be happy, friends.